So welcome back to some more conspiracy theories and unexplained mysteries, right? But before we get to the video and the madness, I need y'all to help me unplug some more people out of the matrix. And you do that by spamming the like button and putting hashtag unplugged in the comment section. All right? Subscribe if you're new. Let's get to it.
Is there something going on underneath Antarctica? Deep in the depths of Antarctica, there have been rumors floating around about a mysterious giant hole that exists as the entrance to another world. Well, you see, in the 1960s, a lone American aviator was flying solo in hopes of exploring a land beyond Antarctica when he encountered this hole. Without hesitation, he dived headfirst into the void, only to find a hidden civilization thriving beneath the planet's crust. This civilization was not only thriving, but in comparison, was advanced in more ways than one. However, when he returned to share his story, he was quickly disavowed by the FBI, and his testimony soon became a legend that slowly vanished from public perception. Even though his original journal documents in detail his trip down the hole, and you can watch the full video by clicking on the link in the description below, many people are still asking the question.
We all know that Antarctica is the most mysterious and intriguing continent that exists. Recently, something came out and could completely change our perception of this territory. According to this thing, Antarctica is not a vast expanse of ice at the bottom of the Earth, but rather a gigantic wall of ice surrounding all the continents of this world. Some even believe that if we were able to cross this ice wall, we would discover other continents that have intentionally been kept hidden from us. In 1992, a new standard world map called the Gleason map was published, depicting Antarctica encircling all our continents. A very intriguing fact is that the logo of the United Nations strongly resembles this map. A pilot took the risk of going there despite the prohibitions, and released a low-quality video claiming to have reached this ice wall. But we cannot be sure if it is truly Antarctica or if it is staged.
So we just can't fly over it for some reason? This is the question that I'm having with this right now.
Scientists have long established that Antarctica is indeed a continent, thanks to satellite images that show its structure and expands. Therefore, it is important to rely on solid evidence and serious research to understand our world. So is this theory simply the product of the imagination of some individuals, or are all our beliefs biased?
So I was on Twitter this morning and saw this post. Go on Google Earth and try to get a measurement of Antarctica. It won't do it, because it's a ring around us. So naturally I ran straight to Google Earth. My screen record.
I don't blame her. I did the same thing. I don't care if I was in the middle of something. I'd have dropped everything I was doing to come see.
Did everything I did. I sped it up because I really wanted to capture the shape of this wall. Continent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now to cover all my bases, this is what I did next. I could find the perimeter in the middle of the ocean, middle of Africa, and it didn't matter where I put the points.
Everywhere but there.
Right in the middle of the continent. Now this got me thinking, why don't we journey up to the North Pole? You know, right there in the middle. I'm like speechless. So while I was sitting here pondering all this and being speechless, I went, holy shit. No matter where you set the points, it always had these little spots, or a spot, missing. North Pole. Kind of like a little missing puzzle piece. The missing piece of the circle. Anyways, it's all a big conspiracy theory anyways.
This video got 10 million views, and it shows these two guys who apparently got in a boat and sailed all the way to Antarctica to see if there's new land. And what people were freaking out about in this video was the water looks a little bit different than anything we've ever seen before.
So they sailed to Antarctica in a sailboat? Yeah, little bit skeptical about that, but let's keep going.
It looks kind of thick and as if it were melted glass. And I haven't figured out a reason or a scientific reason for why this is the case. Maybe there's extra salt in it, or maybe these guys did actually come across some strange water, like no one knows why it's like this. But like, we gotta figure out who these two guys are, because the video is only 2 minutes long. Like, did they actually find anywhere, or are they just sailing around and found an iceberg or something? Like, can you guys in the comment section do some of your magic and figure out who these two guys are? One of the guys in the video was saying he was going to get his phone out and see where they are on the map. So that makes me skeptical. Like, how do you have service if you're way over in Antarctica? Like, I don't think there's any 5G cell towers all the way down there.
Researchers have discovered a crater beneath the Antarctica ice crust 482 kilometers in diameter. Holy shit.
It's like an order of magnitude bigger than
the dinosaur one, right?
Yeah, that's like a 99 point whatever percent extinction event.
So it's just, it just keeps happening. The Earth just, over millions and millions of years and thousands of years that humans have been around, the Earth just keeps getting whacked.
Why don't you just get a plane and fly over its ice wall, stupid flirter?
I ain't gonna lie, that was my question earlier. Yeah, why not? That was my first thought. Had to say it.
We can't, because this is what would happen. Dumb globe trolls. Funny how all these agencies have flat Earth maps as their logo. Just saying.
With this Cessna and the Air National Guard, I'm going to be inside of this Cessna and we're going to be going rogue. We're going to fly into that no-fly zone and we're going to see how the Air National Guard does it. They scramble the fighter jets to come
Take off. We're off.
flying for miles and miles until...
Okay, we've just entered the no-fly zone now.
Our pilots aren't talking to air traffic control, ignoring their calls to reach them. That triggers an alarm at the Air National Guard base. These fighter pilots scrambling to their jets. They're on alert and ready to take action 24 hours a day. Today, racing to their F-16s, suiting up, climbing on board, and rushing to the runway. Taking off to intercept our rogue Cessna, reaching the target in just minutes. This is the view from the F-16. That's my Cessna right there.
Intimidating as you would think it would be. Look at that fighter jet. He's right off our wing.
Another F-16 swooping in on the right, calling us on aviation frequencies.
Yeah, bro, these they sit around like firefighters, man. Like, sit around and wait for a call and then come jumping out, donning on their gear, what we used to call PPE, and running out to a jet, bro. That's insane to even think of. That's got to be one of the coolest jobs ever.
Intercepted, if you hear this transmission, acknowledge the radio call and rock your wings.
He wants us to identify ourselves. We're a rogue aircraft, remember, for this demonstration, so we're not going to respond at all and see what this fighter jet...
You are ordered to turn to the northwest.
The fighter jet giving us one last warning. After all of this, the pilots still won't listen. The plane won't leave the airspace. Will you shoot them down?
If required, we'll execute the rules of engagement per the commander of the North American Aerospace Defense Command. And yes, we would do that.
Shoot the plane down.
If it meets the rules of engagement, yes, we would, to defend the airspace.
Entering restricted airspace. You are ordered to turn west immediately. If you do not follow these instructions, you may be fired upon.
So how come the dragons don't fly over the ice wall into Middle Earth where we live? So I asked the guy who said he's flown to New Tarad multiple times this exact question, and what he told me is the dragons don't like to live over on Earth anymore because we used to kill a bunch of them, and they especially don't want to come back now because of the 4G and 5G radiation, which apparently is the same reason why all the other people around on these other continents don't want to come to Earth, because there's so much radiation not only from the phone service, but also from electrical outlets, I guess. And what else he told me is that the dragons, they live on these other continents because there's so much space and not many people actually live there. And it is interesting how in every single culture, dragons seem to be a part of it, and they seem to be in their mythology. Maybe they were just mistaken after seeing dinosaur bones, or maybe they actually did see dragons flying in their skies 1,000 years ago. But what do you guys think? Is this guy's story fact, or is it fiction?
Do you know the wacky conspiracy theory about the South Pole? That the South Pole is some sort of a direct energy weapon, that there's like some station down there that they've pretended is just for receiving, but it's actually for transmitting. But this guy was on...
Now, when it comes to stuff like that, I wholeheartedly 1,000% believe things like that. Because it's a place, it be in places where people don't frequent too often. So I definitely believe stuff like that.
The Sean Ryan show.
Every single door in the facility, I had complete access to every compartment they manufactured.
What are you blowing the whistle on?
That there are technologies people can't even consider that exist on this planet. Directed energy weapon systems is something that people need to get into their vocabulary fast. The Ice Cube neutrino detector is not simply a passive listening device as presented for the science that they're claiming it to do. It also has the capacity to transmit.
And he's explaining how he went down there and he read the operating manual for this device, and that this device caused the earthquakes in Christchurch, New Zealand. And I was like, what?
See? Devices. And we spoke about that, I think, in an Antarctica video before, about devices that can possibly trigger earthquakes. Think about that, man. I mean, we're already hearing the talks about them trying to control the weather if they're not already doing so. So what makes you think earthquakes wouldn't be on their agenda as well?
Watch this video and tell me there's surely something else stopping us going to Antarctica. The men seem cool about situation, so maybe they have came across this many times. Comments below, what could that big round shape thing?
Is that ice melting going into the water in big chunks? Is that what's happening? Icebergs just breaking off, going into the water or something? What is that?
They found another advanced world just outside of Antarctica. They don't want us going there. Once you understand, there's more land beyond Antarctica. What's another word for more? Extra. What's another word for land? Territory. Put that together in a word, extra terra. If somebody came from the extra terra outside of Antarctica, we might call them an extraterrestrial from the outer space.
Imagine what type of wildlife could possibly be amongst that land that we have never even seen, species and stuff that we may have thought that have gone extinct. That could be a possibility in places like that.
Even Buzz Aldrin was scared when he saw this. In 2016, a satellite took a picture of what experts believed to be a huge pyramid, and other than the fact that it was a good 10 times bigger than the Great Pyramid of Giza at 2 kilometers wide, the strange thing about it was that it was found in Antarctica. Now here's where it gets interesting, because upon hearing about this pyramid, Buzz Aldrin assembled a team to explore the pyramid. Unfortunately, he suffered a heart attack during the mission, but the first thing he tweeted after he recovered was a picture of the pyramid in Antarctica, simply saying, "We are all in danger. It is evil itself," before quickly removing it. A close friend of his later revealed that Buzz told him that we thawed out things in the ice we shouldn't have. But the question remains, what did we find that?
Press. I'm very happy that you're giving me this attention and this information attention because it needs to get out to the world. I will start, since we have to be brief. I have already given all pertinent information and supporting documentation to the Senate Intelligence Committee and ARROW. They informed me that all of my information will be recorded for public record and shared with Congress. It is that important. In 2010, I was selected to go down to the South Pole Station in Antarctica for an entire year by Raytheon Polar Services as an employee of a third-party contractor for the National Science Foundation. I function in a dual-role capacity as a tradesman and a firefighter. My responsibilities required me to be more informed than most of my crew and offered me complete access to the facilities. What I learned from this unique experience needs to be shared with the entire world. The technology at South Pole Station certainly can do what it is presented as its primary purposes, and unfortunately, much more. The Ice Cube Neutrino Detector is presented as a passive listening device for the purposes of the science as presented. But I'm going to skip right through the chase, folks. I have provided documentation that proves that the 5,160, what they call DOMs, that are embedded in the ice can actually transmit at 2,047 volts each.
Really?
That gives us a long list of things to consider. It is effectively a multifaceted directed energy weapons platform that I will list rapidly a few things that it can do. Vehicle detection. We're learning that these off-world craft, on-world craft, ours or other nations, are also emitting neutrinos. So this makes the South Pole Station effectively an air traffic control station for this new level of equipment that nobody's discussing. In addition to the ability to detect neutrinos and the exotic vehicles, I have provided documentation that shows that this is also a system for faster than light communications. In the past, Gary McKinnon has hacked NASA, found the off-world fleet, the list of captains, and it's apparent that if we have faster than light vehicles moving throughout the system, we're going to need faster than light communications. This is that facility. Unfortunately, I have other bad news. The season that I was there, 2010 to 2011, we converted from construction to operations and maintenance in both the elevated station and the detector array. Unfortunately, when they first fired it up, that was when we had the earthquakes in Christchurch, New Zealand. There's 2 incidental shots before they were able to target it correctly. This is an earthquake generating device as well. This is the weapons of war that we have to deal with now. In what rate?
This dude's name is Eric Hecker. We need to check on him. We need to check on him. Make sure his well-being. Anytime, I think from now on, when you start to see whistleblower next to somebody's name, we need to make sure we keep a monitor and a check on them. Are you realize what he's trying to expose right now? And I know people are gonna be like, "Well, he gonna need some proof." He definitely gonna need to show some proof.
But Raytheon's hiding. There's an ELF system at the South Pole Station that when I arrived, I was told it was off, dismantled, and completely defunct. In my work, I will rapidly just tell you, I had to figure out the circuitry for certain other repairs, and I found that this system is in fact completely energized, up and running, and being utilized with the other systems for nefarious purposes as well. The Atmospheric Research Observatory is in what we call the clean air sector. I witnessed myself a very powerful green laser shooting out of the top of this facility into the cosmos. This, I believe, is a secondary form of long-range communications and or a defense system. I am not saying that we need to be scared of anything that's out there, but please understand the military-industrial complex is happy to invest all of your money in alleviating their fears. A question of power comes into play for all of these facilities that are present. I assure you, I knew what was going on, I knew the load demands of the facility, and all of these new items exceed the demand for the systems that I was presented. I'm doing due diligence and research. I believe there is either a secondary power supply there that is either nuclear, that was there prior to the start of the Antarctic Treaty, which prohibits such things, and or that there is some sort of exotic power supply system there that just is not in the verbiage of the treaty, so it negates the responsibility to the parties involved. I think that pretty much covers it for time. If anybody wants to find out more, I have a website where all this information is at. For brevity, I'll wrap it up, but you can go to deciphering.tv. I've documented all of this stuff, and information is
I bet if we go to that website, I'm willing to bet if we go to that website, none of this stuff will be there. It'll probably have all been taken down. That's why I said we need to do a wellness check on him, make sure he's still around. You know what I mean? But this stuff probably won't be there.
Guys, we have another one. What are these? Another unmarked facility. What's going on down there?
Scientists in Antarctica have just discovered a mysterious tunnel. It is believed to have been created by something enormous and unknown, although we're not exactly sure by what. You will clearly see in a few seconds in the video that the walls exhibit traces of rotation. Some are already speculating that it could have been a UFO that passed through, reigniting theories about the hollow earth and the underground realm of Agartha, along with all these eccentric theories. Could this possibly be one of the main entrances to the underground city of Agartha? What level of technological development might the underground civilization have reached?
Simple solution. Let's send a drone up in there, find out. That alleviates everything. Send us a drone in there. Get a few drones down there and send them up in there.
What's certain is that this tunnel is not of human origin. I mean, just look at the perfect shape of this entrance. What do you think? Watch a few more seconds of the video. The ending is astonishing. Please share it before it gets censored by the system. Hold on to your seats, because what you're about to hear will blow your mind. Antarctica, the enigmatic continent, is at the center of a jaw-dropping theory that could redefine everything we thought we knew. Imagine this. Antarctica isn't just a vast expanse of ice, but an awe-inspiring, colossal wall of ice surrounding all continents. Yes, you heard that right. A hidden barrier holding unimaginable secrets. Think about the possibilities. What if crossing this ice wall unlocks hidden continents kept from us intentionally? A 1992 map, the Gleason map, has raised eyebrows, depicting Antarctica encircling the entire world. Remarkably, the United Nations logo bears a striking resemblance to this intriguing map. But that's not all. A daring pilot took on the challenge, defying prohibitions, and captured a gripping, albeit low-quality video claiming to have reached this mysterious ice wall. The burning question remains, is it the real deal or an elaborate hoax? Sure, scientists confirm Antarctica as a continent through satellite images, but are we merely scratching the surface? It's time to dig deeper, armed with solid evidence and serious research. Are we holding on to preconceived notions or embracing a whole new reality?
What are they hiding in Antarctica? In old maps, Antarctica is referred to as Terra Austras, which means land of the south. Nowhere does it show or mention ice. The most intriguing thing is that all maps show Antarctica connected to South America, meaning people could literally walk over to Antarctica. Yet scientists say that Antarctica was only connected 600 million years ago. Something just doesn't add up. In 1961, governments signed a treaty to say nobody can go to Antarctica.
Why would they do that? Why? Ask yourself that. Why would they do that if they're not trying to use that place for some type of top secret spot to use?
Recent speculation has created much debate over whether Antarctica was home to a lost ancient civilization before it became the icy continent we know today. Scientists have drilled down into the ice and found evidence that Antarctica was once a lush rainforest and have even found 1 million-year-old DNA. What else could be hidden underneath the ice?
A lot. I think there's a lot. And I know a lot of people don't subscribe to that theory, but again, I think it's a lot hidden underneath that ice. It's not just mammals and everything that froze to death or, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. No. I think it's more up under there. But we're going to keep searching and looking. Y'all get at me in the comment section, man, and let me know what you thought of this crazy, unexplained, and conspiracy theory video. All right? Stick around and stay tuned. Till next one, I'm gone. Peace.